It's always interesting to listen to someone's conversion story, but as a priest, I'm not so interested in how it all happened, but more importantly, how it is going or continuing. For conversion should always deepen throughout the years, and the convert needs to learn that conversion is this ongoing process that is meant to deepen over the years, or it will die, and he or she will go back to their sinful ways and worshiping idols. St. John the Evangelist mentions, "He who says, 'I know him,' but disobeys his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him." This is kind of the real measure of holiness we are called to. It's not an "I'm baptized and done" kind of deal, but more of a humble and constant encounter with Christ in the sacramental life, which truly changes us. For baptism is how we enter into the new eternal covenant, and where we learn to battle against Satan. And all of this happens through what St. Bede mentions, how that first conversion happens, and he describes St. Matthew's conversion, where he says, by an invisible interior impulse, flooding his mind with the light of grace, he instructed him to walk in his footsteps. Our conversion's always first the work of God, but it also involves our cooperation. Matthew could have rejected the light of grace. And what this light of grace does is it heals, restores, and elevates our human nature to be able to have fellowship with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ, by the power and working of the Holy Spirit in our lives. And this happens primarily through the sacraments and the most holy Mass. This is why the Church takes these things so sincerely, and why we should as well. And we should never approach the sacraments in some kind of lackadaisical kind of way or some kind of rigid, willful manner, but always in this gentle and humble approach to Christ, which in this humble way our hearts are opened to allow God's grace to convert us more and more to live a holy life, to listen to him and to follow him. Also, we truly receive Jesus into the interior space of our hearts and minds at every Mass, and it's important for us to recognize the sacredness and sanctifying power of this holy action. For when we encounter real holy people in our lives, we notice there's a kindness, a gentleness, a courageousness, and a loveliness that reflects being saturated in grace, where their very existence teaches us about Jesus. But I must confess it's a rare occurrence, and why the Church mentioned in the Vatican Council, or the Second Vatican Council, that we are all called to holiness. And this journey is long and humbling. As the further along we are, the more we recognize our real need for Christ, our real need to contemplate his passion and death, to see how much it cost to be forgiven. Only in this way will we truly change our worldly ways, for sanctifying grace flows from the wounds of Christ.